I hope this is going to work this time. We've been having some technical difficulties with the Wi-Fi, and then I started up again and realized that YouTube has this funny setting where when you do live, it automatically goes to unlisted rather than a public live, which is really silly. So I forgot that I was on unlisted. Now it should be live and public. So if you are joining, please say hi again and come back to the live. But so what I was just showing is that in this bed, I can finally grow some things like hydrangeas for the first time ever, which in this garden, it generally gets about a half a day of sun. And the idea is to have a lot of sort of like fluffy hydrangeas growing in this little middle section. What's up, Alex? Hey, Carolyn. Hey, Laura. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Why would YouTube have their automatic setting go to unlisted? So I started a second one and then realized there was no one viewing. It's like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Restarted it. Anyways, now we're back. And now let me know, hopefully I'm disconnected from the Wi-Fi, so it should be good. Okay, so let's take a look at this garden. Here I have the front door little garden section. I'm really trying to do less potted plants outside this year because I just have too much going on in the actual garden. But the couple plants that I am growing in containers, is it doing better though this time, Laura? Let me know if the connection is not good. But so the few container plants that I'm going to be doing outdoors, I planted some caladiums. Just planted some more up yesterday. I took some cuttings of my lavender, which I'm making a video on how to propagate lavender. My wife did a little painting. But so in this garden, which gets pretty much, it's a north-facing garden, and it stays pretty shady. I've played around a lot with like how to really create the right energy in this front garden. And front gardens are tough because you really want them to cactus. What kind of cactus? Front gardens by the doorway are tough because you want it to look good all of the time. Choosing like flowering perennials in the front by the door is not really a great choice because they're going to look good for a short amount of time, and unless they have really nice foliage, it's just not great. Oh, great, Alex. So stay tuned for that video. It'll take another like 6 weeks or so before they propagate, but it's been a really fun video so far. So what I've really decided to do is I've just been propagating a lot of my hellebores lately, taking a lot of divisions. It's super easy to do. It's really, you can just take a clump out and replant it. But what I found out this year was I had some little baby seedlings, and what's crazy is, so you see the foliage of the hellebore, and then I saw these guys down here. It's like, that doesn't, it only has 3 leaves instead of, 1, 2, 3, 7 leaves like a large hellebore. But then as I inspected it more and noticed the serrated edges, I figured, oh, it's gotta be. Turns out I have some little hellebore seedlings. Had some here, and then I had some over here sprout as well, which is amazing because Carolyn, I'll show you, I have 2 orchid cactus that I have on my back deck. We'll get to that in a little bit. But anyways, so I've just been really focused on propagating. I'm trying to grow a lot of things, a lot of the same plant over and over, really creating that repetition so that, it just has a really nice look when you have that repeated motif, over and over again. And I also have some astilbes, which should be nice for some flower action in the shadier areas. But I've been struggling to figure out what to do in this little section. It doesn't get a ton of light, and I just haven't had any good decision. I had planted some coral bells, but they disappeared somewhere, I don't know. But I have a few that remained. And here you can see some more of those little seedlings. Oh yeah. The Spanish lavender is great. How do you, of this plant, Natipi? Natipi, is that your name? That is hellebores. Hellebores. And it's been really great because hellebores are extremely expensive. One little plant can be like 30 bucks. Let me know if you got that name. So when I found the seedlings, it was like, oh, that's amazing. That's 40 bucks here, 40 bucks there, cha-ching. And what I've been doing is also been making divisions and planting them underneath this Japanese maple tree. If any of you guys have Japanese maple, what I was doing recently, if you have one and it looks like a little, like this looks really nice because I was just cleaning it. But if it looks like a little bit old and needs a little refreshing, something that you can do, something that I highly recommend, is come underneath. Now when you come underneath, you'll find that there's a lot of like old wood. And when there's all that old wood, you just can like take your hand and like rub it and it will fall, it'll just like fall off. You don't even have to clip it off. And so that's really been important. So let's see if I can find, like here's a good example. I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, but I'll just kind of like take my hand and just break it off. And that really keeps the structure looking good. So another one, but you gotta come underneath it to do it. So there you go. And you can see I just let them all kind of chill underneath here and they will, you know, break down and come in and just integrate into the soil. So that's been a really important thing for me to do. Oh, I just stepped on that guy. And that's why it looks really nice. The other thing, when I moved into this house, the Japanese maple had the foliage all the way down to the ground. So the first thing I did was I raised it up and gives it more of a tree form. And I think it looks really nice. So moving on from this front garden over to this side garden with this large, lovely, oh yeah, Alex, I don't think you can do hellebores in Zone 9B, unfortunately, but you got so many great things. So in this garden with this river birch, it's actually getting more sun than it used to because I had to take down a limb. It might actually be a little bit too much sun for these hydrangea. We'll find out. But this garden is finally starting to take on a little bit of structure. And one of the things that I did over the winter time, which highly recommend doing this when all of your plants are dormant, is I went and I added in a soaker hose. I have a video on the YouTube channel about adding in a soaker hose, which I think are the nicest sort of ways to irrigate. And because, you know, hydrangeas need a lot of water, as I really needed to get some irrigation going on here. Oh, these guys right here are orchid. These are Blatilla. It's a winter hardy orchid. Hopefully those bloom this year. I planted them last year and they're just getting started. But anyways, so I'm really excited for all of these hydrangeas to actually grow and fill this garden space out, since they never really could before. It definitely has a little bit of a, you know, natural energy in this garden bed with the ferns, with the sedges, the hostas, the thyme. But I do have one area that I've struggled with, and that's with this stinking generator. I love the generator. It saves our butt a lot of times during the wintertime and summertime, but I have the hardest time getting anything growing in front of it because it lets off a lot of hot air whenever it's running, and like my plants, you can see, they just get toasted. So this guy has been here for like 3 years, has never grown. It is an ilex, a holly, and it just like stays the same. And it's been really frustrating to me. So if you have any ideas, that would be great. Yeah, Laura, what zone are you in? This Blatilla, I can't remember the exact species name. Blatilla striata, maybe? I think it's zone 6, if I'm not mistaken. But it's really cool. Zone 6B, you can probably do it. Plant cactus. I don't think I can grow cactus here. Which cactus would, the only cactus I think I could grow here is the prickly pear cactus, and that's just too low to the ground, because I'm in zone 6B as well. But this guy's got me really excited. This is my Ito peony. And I have a nice little selection of Ito peonies. You can see that it's like our first day of really hot sun, and they're looking a little bit wilted, but they should be all right. But the really cool thing about Ito peonies, if you're unfamiliar, you can see down here, they have these woody bases, and that's what really keeps the plants upright. You see, I don't have any cages around them, no staking, whereas a lot of normal garden peonies do require some sort of staking in order to stay upright when they start to bloom. Now over here is another project that I've been undertaking. I have all of these daylilies that I planted here, some really nice varieties of daylilies. And these, I planted them about 3 years ago, but they're not, they're still tiny because of the deer. But what I did was with this Dawn redwood, beautiful tree, I took a bunch of the lower limbs off over winter time. And so by doing that, now this garden bed gets a lot more sun, which should be perfect for these daylilies since they are such sun-loving plants. Hey Jim, I was told never trim those back as they bloom even off the older. Which ones are you talking about? Yeah, but Carolyn, if I put cactus there, then they wouldn't handle the winters. That's the problem. But you can see, look at my thyme over here. This is the creeping thyme. I think this is in its 3rd year, and it's really starting to fill out, and should be creating a nice look. This garden bed takes me ages to mulch, so I'm really putting a lot more, the tree peony. Well, it's not exactly a tree peony, it's an Ito peony, which is a cross between a tree peony and a garden peony. So they have natural dieback. I don't cut them back. They will naturally die back to just a couple inches above the ground. But you're right, you don't want to cut into that wood that is remaining, for sure. I don't think we can grow nopales, Alex. That would be sweet. I'd love to grow some nopales and have some prickly pear. Isn't it prickly pear? Some prickly pear fruit or nopal cactus, nopal tacos. Sounds like the hydrangea will not flower if you cut back old flower growth. Well, so most of the ones that I have are reblooming reblooming hydrangeas. So they should still produce flowers. But let's take a look. So some of the other things that are blooming right now in the garden are my nepeta, my catmint, and that looks pretty good. These guys are looking nicely. I have some hydrangea paniculatas starting to take shape. Now let's go, where should we go? Let's go this way. So as you can see, my garden is pretty big. It takes a lot of my time, which I love, but it can get overwhelming. At least my plants are not getting eaten, so that's the biggest thing. So one of my all-time favorite ground covers is this guy right here. This is called epimedium, if you're unfamiliar. It is a it just like it floats. It just has this like really airy kind of growth about it. And it was flowering. The flowers are just getting finished, but it's a really nice little entry plant, and they are evergreen. So it's a really, with the hellebores and the weigela and the cherry laurel, it kind of makes a nice little scene. One plant that I regret planting over here is this creeping Jenny. Oh man, this has been really frustrating plant because it overtakes plants. It just, look at this. I'm constantly coming out here and just ripping off chunks of it because it will just suffocate some of the other plants, and it's really frustrating. Portulacas would be good over there, but I want height. I want to hide them. That's the main thing. My little baby azaleas are just getting started. These guys are pretty young, but the flowers are pretty nice. And I need to plant, I got 2, I need to plant a 3rd one here. And so this garden is, this is definitely the youngest garden. When I moved in here, oh, those guys are looking too dried out. Darn, I gotta get some water in them. When I moved in here, there was like 3 dilapidated rhododendron here, so I removed them, and then it was like crappy lawn, so I added this flower bed here, and the idea is that it's going to be a pollinator garden with time, but it still has a lot of work to do. But it's, you know, work in progress like everything. Everything here is a work in progress. Calla would be cool. Oh, good. Yeah, Alex, nice. I literally have planted hundreds of that Trample Me Thyme. It's just, it's incredible. I really like it. I really, really like it. So the biggest project that I undertook last year, oh, we're on QVC3 right now, nice. The biggest project that I undertook last year was this. And so you can see my fence. It's an 8-foot deer fence. What I did was I got a selection of mostly native plants, and I've planted it all along the fence line, a deep row of them, and hopefully they will all grow nicely so that they will block the view of my neighbors, and then I can remove all of the invasive stuff. But my wife says I can't, she doesn't want me to remove the invasive stuff that's on the other side of the fence until this stuff has grown in more, because she doesn't, you know, she wants to keep it secluded. But this little shrub border, man, it was a big, big endeavor, because as you can see, this is like a super long fence. Probably, I don't know, 200 yards all the way from one side to the other. But it should be really beautiful. And I planted a bunch of native stuff that should invite all of our native bees. I think some of them might be blooming. But yeah, so what I've done this spring is under each and every one of these, I have one layer thick of cardboard, and then a huge thick layer of mulch on top. But some of them, the crazy thing is about plants, the really wild thing about plants is like, okay, I have 3 of the same plant. 1, 2, and 3. Why are 2 of them tiny and one of them's looking really good? Like, what's going on? Why are these 2 so dang small? They've gotten the same exact care. I don't know. And the other thing is, like, some plants, you know, look, this guy has really lovely foliage, it's getting started, and then this guy is so far behind, it barely even has any buds. So that's been a big thing for me. Check my soil pH, I know. Someone needs to invent like an instant way of checking the soil pH rather than taking a soil test, sending it to a lab to get, you know, tested. But one of the things I've really had to work on is not cutting plants back that I think might be dead too early. I always get impatient in the springtime, and I end up cutting things back that, you know, are just slower than the rest. A great example would be crepe myrtle. Crepe myrtle, it's one of the last plants in the garden to really break through the wintertime and bring its foliage. Oh, look at this. Looks nice. This is, what is this? I can't remember what this plant is. So it can be really frustrating, you know, it's like, oh, everything looks so good, but this plant doesn't have anything going on. Why is that? Just the way Mother Nature works. Let's get another view. But yeah, so the other thing that I've done is really, on almost every tree, any limbs, like these are like the lowest limbs of any tree in the front. Really cutting things down that are like, that I can actually reach has been really great for just making it more expansive views in the garden. You guys want to see the little rose garden we got going on? That's how my 2 box shrubs, well, yeah, one is doing okay. The other, I don't know. It's just the way it goes. So my roses are starting to look really nice. This is the little rose garden that I come out in all these webs and stuff. they're looking really good, starting to really flesh out. I don't see any flower buds yet, but probably not too far along, not too far away. Oh, here's one. There's first flower bud of the season, right there. But I love this little rose garden. It really blooms for so long, probably in the middle of May, or middle of June, all the way till like November. All right, you guys wanna go take a walk in the forest? So this was the project. I've just got so many projects, which is great, but it's a big list all the time. So this project, basically of clearing out our forest area to make it usable, because as I was saying earlier, this area used to be so full of dense, thick, invasive plants. So we cleared it. This was like, you could not see from one end to the next. It was just totally dense. So we cleared out the majority of it. I did most of it myself, burning it. And my wife and I, we made this trail so we can come out here and take a walk. And it is so lovely. Oh, 5 rose trees. You must have a large garden, Alex. I bet it's beautiful. And so we'll come out, we'll take our little walks out here, and it's great. And in the autumn time last year, I planted 100 shrubs out here, all native plants, so that it would be full of beautiful plant material. Now these guys look pretty dry. We need some rain out here. These guys are looking too dry. I planted 100 shrubs out here with the idea, they all have lovely fall foliage. They all have lovely fall foliage. Many of them produce berries for all of our birds. So they're native berry producers, beautiful fall foliage, and many produce lovely flowers for the bees as well. And I had the idea of putting out this bee hive, but I haven't gotten any bees, and I don't know why. So, I don't know. If you have an idea, let me know. But the whole idea back here is really to just kind of create our own little preserve, a little nature preserve. And it's pretty fun. It's pretty sweet. But it's so hard to stay on top of all these invasive plants. It really kills me because they just creep up all over the place. It's like these little roses here, all over the place. And I go and I bring out my like string trimmer and cut them back, trying to like take their vitality away. I need a starter bee colony, probably do. Let's see, this little area back here is really cute. So we have this nice little stream just right here. Just a tiny little guy, but it's just enough. Come out here with our coffee, hang out. It's pretty chill. So someone asked me recently, is like, how many hours I spent out in my garden? I have no idea. A lot. But it's so fun, it's so gratifying. Now that the deer aren't coming, it really has been filling me with a lot of inspiration. And of course, my shoddy firewood thing. It really is relaxing, Alex. I gotta admit, it's so chilled out here. It's so chill out here. Now, the one thing that I'm growing, which is really nice, I'm growing some Native American tobacco plants, which I want to try them out, see how they are, see what it's like. So I have a couple Native American tobacco plants that I got growing. I started them from seed, and we'll see what it's like to grow them and dry them and to try them out. Who knows? I have planted my cucumbers already, and these guys are starting to grow along. I think we might even have some little cucumbers. Let's see, anything? Oh yeah, here we go. Little guy right there. Oh, Kinnick is a good one, yeah. I believe that Kinnick, is it the same as Archosophilus uva-ursi? Because I do grow that out in my forest garden. So I know it's an awesome addition to Native American plant material. And then this garden, where we will finish up, this was the very first garden that I ever planted here at this home. And so it's definitely the most mature. Thanks, JLR. It really is a beautiful property. I feel so blessed to be here, gardening on this land, trying to make it beautiful. So these guys were the first iris to bloom of the season. Short little guys. Really lovely fragrance. And then I just planted a couple of gardenias, winter hardy gardenias. We're growing onions, beefsteak tomatoes, nice. I have some beefsteak tomatoes that should be coming on the way soon. And then here's my second gardenia. Does anyone know the song? It's a Cuban, I think it's a bolero. Maybe it's a bolero, Cuban bolero. It goes, Dos gardenias para ti. Well, in case you don't, go check that song out. But it's my wife and I's, it's our song. She's from Colombia, and it was a song that we listened to when we were in Cartagena, Colombia. And ever since, it's been just one of our favorite songs. So that's why we named our garden Dos Gardenias, and this is where the Dos Gardenias are growing, which is really nice. She just put some little garden art out. And you can see my clematis are growing really nicely. I got one there. And this guy, it got destroyed last year. We were had some work done with the property, and they destroyed it when they were using the water, but it started over again. Want to say hi? And like I was mentioning, we're kind of doing a little bit more restraint. I was just telling the story about Dos Gardenias. So our little garden is, too many roses now are not fragrant. You're right. I grow a kind of rose called Brindabella roses, and they're very fragrant, really, really lovely. Thank you, JLR. Is that your name, JLR? Thank you. So in terms of what we're growing in containers, here's a Meyer lemon. I just got it planted. This is my money tree. I just cut it back. I have a jasmine up here, which it has some flowers going. And a rose is not a rose with no fragrance. I totally agree. I would never grow roses without fragrance, because their fragrance is so divine. Here's my plumeria, just came out of dormancy. I think it's got some, maybe just getting started a little bit. I only grow fragrant rose with my, yeah, life of the party. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Thank you, Joy. Oh, Carolyn, these are my cactus. So this is a epiphyllum. I can't remember which color it is. I have my desert rose here. This is one desert rose. These are amaryllis that I hybridized and grew. You never have a bloom on it. Well, Laura, I'm making a video about how to get really the most out of your clematis, or clematis, however you say it. Life of the Party Rose, I'll check that out. If it's not blooming, there could be, is it actually climbing? Does it climb and then just never blooms? You might need to do what do they call it? Like a total cut it back, let it restart. Oh yeah, the adenium is really lovely. I have another one over here too. This guy's really nice and fat, but I struggle. I get scale on them once in a while. Really frustrating. And then check this out. This guy is another epiphyllum. Got a big old flower bud coming on. And so, oh, I planted some begonia bulbs in here. I think I'm going to put a banana tree here, some dahlias in there, and then I have to decide what I want to put in that little trough planter as well. My little sempervivum. But yeah, that's kind of the tour. That's pretty much it. Starting to buffer again. Ugh. Well, I guess that's a good time for me to send off. But my first veggie garden, Northwest PA, back in 1980, that's awesome. It's actually never gotten over 3 feet tall on a trellis. I'm coming out with a video that's going to give you some suggestions on how to get it to really climb like you want it to so that it can actually flower for you. That's probably why it's not flowering. If they're not climbing, they're not going to flower. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the tour. I haven't done one of these in a while. I was a little bit rusty. I definitely had some user error at first. I apologize for that. But thanks for joining me here. Hopefully I should do another one, and I should just try to do one once a month, see how things are growing. If you do have any, sorry for the buffering. If you do have any like thoughts or ideas, leave a comment and give me suggestions on what you'd like to see more in a tour kind of video of the outdoor garden. Since I don't really do them very often, I'm not really sure what would interest you. So anyways, lady slipper orchid to bloom. Which kind of lady slipper orchid is it? Do you know, Lynette? Is it an indoor lady slipper orchid? Nope. Okay. Well, I hope the buffering was not bad, not too bad. Lynette, okay, I have a video all about that. I think it's scheduled to be published in the next 2 weeks or so. It's already uploaded and everything, so take a look on my channel. You'll find it. It's Maudi are also called Paphiopedilum, so be on the lookout for that on the channel. If you guys aren't familiar, every Saturday morning I do my primary video of the week. That's when I upload that primary video. And if I have time and if I have inspiration, then I will try to do something else on Sunday morning, but that's, you know, here in come and go kind of things, not every week. Anyways, I'll catch you guys soon. Thanks for joining me here on the live. That was fun. It's always good being out in the garden. All right. Ciao.